And so when we look at performance from the optimal performance standpoint, it allows us to do a couple things. First of all, it allows us to celebrate not only those times when it is flow states and awesome, but also pat ourselves on the back when we were just nugging it out, going step by step, and it was painful and gritty and dirty. Because that's what it always takes. It's never always going to be awesome. And when I think about our own experience, certainly my own experience in SEAL training is known as some of the toughest training in the world, and they freeze you in the surf zone for hours. And I thought about that, and there was nothing peak about my performance when I was being frozen in the surf zone. I was doing the best I could in that moment. The best I could in that moment was just not to quit. So it allows us to celebrate optimal performance at any type of performance as long as we're taking steps, as long as we're moving forward. The other really important thing that optimal performance allows us to do is what we call proper and appropriate energy management. We don't have to be peak all the time. I don't need to be peak when I'm driving to the grocery store. All right? If you manage your energy properly, you know when you can peak on demand and when you can rest on demand. I remember being in the helicopter on the way into combat, and I was the officer, so I'd have my headset on, I'd be talking to the pilots. All the rest of the guys were sleeping. They were napping. Why? Because they knew they had to manage the energy. They did not know what was coming ahead. They did not know how long they'd be at it. I'll talk a little bit more about the command I was at, but that command was the command that got bin Laden. So my friends were on that raid, and even my friends were saying on the way into Pakistan, 2.5-hour flight, most of the guys were sleeping. This busts another myth of these Navy SEALs like high-fiving and hoo-yawing all this energy, and no, you nap when you need to nap. So optimal performance allows us to manage our energy for the long game, for those times where we don't know what's coming next, which really ultimately is life. If we can be resting, we need to be resting. And then when it's time to peak, we peak. So we have to think about performance optimally, not just with peak.